In Athens in 399 BC, on the morning of an execution, a 70-year-old man is sitting in a cell. His name is Socrates. In a few hours, the jailer will bring him a cup of hemlock and he will drink it, and he will die. Before sunrise, his friend Crito comes in. Crito is wealthy. He has bribed the guards. He has a boat waiting. His friends in another city will hide Socrates for the rest of his life. Everything is arranged. They just have to walk out the door. And then Socrates says no. This is one of the strangest moments in history, because a man who knows he's innocent, who has been sentenced to death by a court he believes is wrong, who has a way out that costs him nothing, refuses to take it. Why? The answer he gives is the founding question of legal philosophy. Why should you obey the law? Not just good laws, that is easy. But the law, the actual written, often inconvenient, sometimes wrong system that the place where you live happen to have, you did not sign anything. You did not consent. You were born into a country and the laws were already there. By what right do they bind you? Socrates' answer in the dialogue Plato wrote down is this. Imagine, he says, that the laws of Athens themselves spoke to you. We are the reason your parents could marry. We are the reason you were educated. You could have left at any time. By staying, you accepted us. And now, when we deliver a verdict you do not like, you would slip out in the night and break us? His point is not that the law is always right. He believed his own verdict was unjust. His point is that you cannot pick and choose. If you obey the law only when it agrees with you, you're not obeying the law at all. You are obeying yourself. So Socrates dies in a cell and on a principle. Now hold that scene for a moment, because 50 years before Socrates was even born, the playwright Sophocles had already staged the exact opposite answer. In Antigone, a king decrees that a fallen rebel must be left unburied, on pain of death. The rebel's sister buries him anyway. Brought before the king, she gives the answer that has been quoted ever since. Your edicts are mortal. The laws of the gods are not. They were not made yesterday, and they were not made by you. So she is executed. And by the end of the play, the king is alone in a rouble of his own family, beginning to suspect that maybe the law of the city is not the only law there is. So now you have two answers from one civilization pointing in opposite directions. Socrates says, obey, even when the law is wrong, because the alternate is disillusion. Antigone says there are laws under which no decent person can live, and to obey them is its own kind of crime. You walk around carrying both of these in your head at the same time. So does every functioning legal system. The question is not which one is right. The question is, how do you tell which situation you are in? The answer that bridges them was given with extraordinary force 2,400 years later in a cell in the American South. In the spring of 1963, a black minister named Martin Luther King was arrested in Birmingham, Alabama, for marching against segregation. From his cell on the margins of a smuggled-in newspaper, he wrote, "There are two types of laws, just and unjust. One has a moral responsibility to obey just laws. Conversely, one has a moral responsibility to disobey unjust laws." So far, so Antigone. But then King added the move that makes the whole thing work. When you disobey an unjust law, he said, you must do three things. 1, you must do it openly, not in secret. 2, you must do it peacefully, not with violence. And 3, you must willingly accept the punishment. Why? Because he wrote, an individual who breaks a law that conscience tells him is unjust and who willingly accepts the penalty of imprisonment in order to arouse the conscience of the community over its injustice is in reality expressing the highest respect for law. This is one of the most extraordinary sentences ever written about law. It refuses both easy answers. It does not say obey everything. It does not say obey only what you approve of. It says that there is a third path. You may break an unjust law, but you must do it in a way that affirms the system as a whole. You must not slink, you must not hide. Your willingness to be punished is the proof that you are not a vandal. You believe in law so much that you are willing to be crushed by it in order to make it better. Antigon walks into the king's court and says, "Yes, I did it. Do what you must." Socrates sits in his cell and drinks the cup. King writes his letter from inside the jail and signs it. These three are the same person, separated by 2,400 years and half a planet, making the same argument that respect for law and resistance to injustice are not opposites. They are, when done correctly, the same thing. So, the next time you are tempted to break a small law because it is inconvenient, picture Socrates in his cell. Picture Antigon in front of the king. Picture Martin Luther King Jr. at a desk in Birmingham writing on the margins of a newspaper. And ask yourself which company you're in. Because the last secret of legal philosophy is this: the law does not, in the end, hold a society together. But the people who take the law seriously enough to die in front of it hold the society together. The law is just the shape they make when they do.